Well, hello, and you're very welcome along to Island 80. It's the fourth and final Mayo Senior Club Championship quarter final. Already in the pot for the semi-final is Castlebar Mitchells, Knockmore, and this afternoon Ballina overcame Belmullet. The fourth and final spot is going to be decided in the next 90 minutes or so, and it's West Mayo clashes. It's West Mayo clashes here between Breaffy and Westport in the lovely Island 80. There was grey clouds up earlier on, but I tell you something, the sun has come out, and after the weekend we've had and some of the weather we saw yesterday, it could be the best day for football that we've had all weekend, and what a cracking encounter this one promises to be. There's going to be absolutely no love lost between these two sides, and it's going to be an absolute humdinger. There's a couple of changes on either side, so we'll get straight into them, and we'll start with Breaffy this afternoon. They'll be wearing their hooped blue and white jerseys, and they'll line out as follows. In goal, it's number 1, Jack Livingston. They have a full back line of Conor Byrne, Mark Dervin, and Conor Melly. A half back line of David Livingston, Michael Hall, and Darren Moran. In midfield, Conor O'Shea partners Matthew Ruan. It's a half forward line of Robbie Fadden in the centre, with Rory Martin and David Neary either side of him, and Aidan O'Shea wears number 14, flanked by Tommy O'Reilly. And the one change in the Breaffy team, number 15 Stephen McDermott doesn't start, and in his place is the number 28 this afternoon, Oisin Tunney, and their team manager is Conrad Cohill. Looking across then to Westport on the other side of things, the reigning county champions looking to go back to back and bring the Moncler Cup home to Westport once more. They have a couple of late changes as well, and in goal for them it's Paddy O'Malley. A full back line in the corner, it's their joint captain Niall McManaman. Full back is Rory Brickington, and Brian McDermott is in the other corner. One change in the half back line, Luke Tunney comes in for Ronan Geraghty. He's in there with Paul Lambert and Owen McLaughlin. In midfield, Lee Keegan partners Brian O'Malley, and it's a star-studded half forward line with Fionn McDonough, Mark Moran and Pat Lambert there. And two changes on the inside line. Colin Moran, the only player that retains a spot, and in there comes Kevin Kane, and on the other corner it's Killian Kilkelly, and their manager of course is Martin Connolly. Delighted this afternoon to say that I'm joined by Cormac Rowland. Cormac, you had a good year in Island 80 last year, pleasant memories no doubt of this lovely place, and well, the days seem to work out pretty good. The weather's fine, and these two teams are going to go gun-ho for this one.
Yeah, firstly it's nice to be back, Stephen. I've good memories here of my time last year, 12 months ago, when we thankfully got over the line and won the County Junior Championship. Yeah, the weather is very, very good. In fairness, comparable to what we had yesterday. I was over at the game in Ahamore yesterday. Very wet, very windy. It's windy and it's blown into the clubhouse goal. It'll be a factor in the game, but conditions look good, the pitch looks good, so I'll be hoping for a good game of football.
No, certainly so. And said these couple of late changes coming into the Westport team, it's amazing really when you look at the depth they have of a panel. I mean, every club in the county would only be jealous of it. You're looking at the likes of Kevin Kane, a former inter-county player, to have him, well, he wasn't named to start, but to have someone like that just to be able to come in, it's a huge advantage and a huge asset to have to any team.
Yeah, well, like even looking through beyond that within the context of the squad, like you've Ben Doyle played a National League game for Mayo 3 years ago. He's named at number 29. You've Conor McGrainer played inter-county football with Wicklow, and a lot of these guys. Conal Dawson was in a development panel with the Mayo senior squad last year. You know, these guys are locked and loaded on the bench. Killian Kelly coming in there, natural score getter. Luke Tunney has played underage with Mayo as well, so they have an awful lot of balance, and they've 22, 23 players that can all contribute heavily at the latter ends of the senior club championship, which a lot of clubs, you know, you go beyond the first 18, 19 maybe, and things begin to get a bit sticky, but with Westport they can go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, they sure can. And you look at Breaffy then on the other hand, and they perhaps don't have the same amount of depth, but what they do have is lots of quality in lots of different places. I mean, they were very unlucky to lose to Ballina in the opening round of the championship in Breaffy. Only lost that game by a point, and you know, because of that they finished as second seeds and ended up drawing the reigning county champions Westport, so it's not ideal for them in that respect either.
No, but I think people have been kind of writing them out of the picture a little bit too early over the course of the week. Like, if Ballina are to be the team people think they are, they ran them close in the first round, so they'll give it what they have. They have some exceptional talent within their team. Like, they're going to need big games from them. I think they should have place O'Shea at full forward when they have that breeze, and I think they have to commit to that, and I think they have to go long and they have to go diagonally. I think they should get Conor and Matthew on the ball as much as possible and put those floaters across and cause anarchy really in there and ask serious questions.
No, they certainly do, and I said it promises to be a very interesting game. I said teams are almost ready here. They're going to be lining up now, and a Ron Levine this afternoon is going to be sung by Hayley Maguire. She's from Ahagawa in Westport. Yeah, a lovely rendition of the national anthem, Aron Naveen there, and two teams this afternoon that are going to really fancy their chances. Promises to be a great afternoon. Said it looks already that Breaffy are going to be shooting into the clubhouse goal in the first half, so the breeze will be blowing in there. So it does give them an opportunity, Cormac, straight away to build up a lead. And if they were to build up a lead and be ahead, that could pose a few questions. To Westport's credentials, certainly coming down the stretch.
Well, definitely, and I think that's what they need to do. That they need to exert that type of pressure. They've O'Shea in for the throw in to secure that initial possession, but I think they should put him in on top of Paddy O'Malley. If you look at the county semi-final last year, Paddy O'Malley flapped at a high ball later on. Castlebar got a penalty from it and could have won the match. So they need to ask questions, and they need to go after any chinks of light or any weaknesses they can. And I think that's something they could get traction from, and I think it's something that they should go after.
No, certainly, and Fionn McDonough has gone into midfield along with Brian O'Malley for the throw-in, and we're up and underway. And as you said, Cormac, Aidan O'Shea wins first possession of the football. And interestingly enough, it was from the throw-in in their last game against Mayo Gales. It was from the throw-in from their last game against Mayo Gales. They won it and they got a goal almost immediately, so it gives Breaffy a good platform to get going, and Aidan is so strong. But we're underway, and it's a first possession on this side for David Livingston. Doesn't manage to pick it up, and the ball bobbles out, and it's going to be a line ball, and the line ball is going to be for Breaffy. The referee for this afternoon's game is Eamon McCandrew from Claremorris, a native of Belmullet. He won't be happy with the result his team got early on. That ball is down there in the corner. Aidan O'Shea is working really well to try and get his hands on the ball. First shot in anger from Aidan. Is that one going to curl in? It's very, very close and just didn't come in enough. But a nice lively start for Breaffy, Cormac.
Yeah, they're asking questions. Aidan was isolated with Fionn McDonough. He got past him easily enough, really. That's what they want. They want him going at people, sucking defenders into him, and he got the shot away. He should have probably scored it, but it just tailed off. Interesting
one. We see that Kevin Kane came in to start, and a couple of changes, of course. Two on the inside forward line and one on the half back line. Now, what we thought was Luke Tunney might go into the half back line, but Kevin Kane seems to be picking up a role fairly deep, and it looks already that he's going to be sweeping in front of Aidan O'Shea. So food for thought on that one, Cormac, straight away. Yeah, well, I think in terms of Brickenden is probably going to pick him up, and Kane is going to be in and around it once he wins that ball. They want that physicality and that ability to stop him dead and make sure he's the one laying the ball off and not getting any go forward and sucking defenders in. Yeah, two very experienced campaigners, so it'll be really interesting to see. Paul Lambert with a nice little hand pass over the top. Westport are in around, and the hand pass is in. It's the corner back, it's the captain, it's Niall McManaman with the first score of the game. They call him glue for a reason, but he didn't do too much damage there in defence. It was coming up the field and he stuck it over the bar on that occasion. Nice score for Westport, and Niall McManaman with the first point of the game to give the Westport side, the reigning county champions, the lead. And straight away Breaffy not taking too long to get the restart back underway, but straight away we see the running power, Cormac, of Westport and what they can do. Paul Lambert is establishing himself as a really good number 6 in there, and he's a great option to have. But Matthew Ruan now is on the attack for Breaffy, trying to get his head up and find someone inside. There was a tug of the jersey, says the referee, and it's going to be a free in for Breaffy in and around the 45 metre line. It's right in the corner of the 45, probably not shooting range, and Matthew Ruan, well, in fact, he is going to leave it down, and Aidan O'Shea is going to have a cut of this one. This will be it's a fair distance out, Cormac. Yeah, that's a difficult kick. I think they might be better served by moving the ball a little bit quicker and trying to get Aidan in as good a one-on-one positions as they can. They probably don't have the flexibility or the manpower on the forward line like Westport have. They need him on the end of things, not really out here rotating the ball from side to side. Yeah, well, he done well there with Matthew Ran and got the ball back again, trying to get it onto that trusty left foot of his. Rory Bricken is trying to shape up Aidan O'Shea. He's done so well. He's danced through 3 and 4. Still Aidan O'Shea. That's tremendous play from Aidan. It's really, really good work. And I think he's asking the question of the referee, was it inside the square? Could it be a penalty? But I don't think so. The contact did seem to come a bit further out, and I think it could have been Kevin Kane, in fact, who put in that tackle, and the referee's taken note of it. But again, we see the power that he has, and if Breaffy are going to win this game today, Cormac, a lot of it's going to be down to him. Yeah, an awful lot of it. You can see it already. Like he's taken 2 balls on, and he's caused consternation with both balls. Like you can see there with Brickenden, and Brickenden is an inter-county footballer. Like the disparity in size, he pushed him out of the way quite easily, and Kane then kind of panicked, really. An awful lot of it is going to come down to him, but I prefer to see him a little deeper and trying to get that ball into him rather than trying to run everything. I think they're going to need a goal or two here today, and the closer he is to goal, the more likely that is to occur. Yeah, certainly. And look, we saw exactly what he can do when in that game against Mayo Gales. You know, he's just so lively. Really good tackle going in there on the far side of the field. David Neary almost dispossessing Kevin Kane, and Westport can get the hands on the ball. I said 4 minutes gone on the clock. It's Breaffy 1 point, Westport 1 point in this fourth senior quarter final. Our coverage on Mayo GA TV is with thanks to the Mayo Credit Union, as then on Midwest Radio it's with thanks to Ceramic City Tiles and Bathrooms. Westport coming on the attack once more. Chance here now for Pat Lambert. He's been so dangerous all year long. Really knows how to get a score. Himself and his brother Paul have established themselves in this Westport team now, and they've switched the play on this side, and it goes back around to the other cornerback, Brian McDermott. McDermott skips past David Neary, and the hand comes in then from Mark Dervin, and Mark Dervin does really well to just dispossess him, and the cover comes in and helps him out. Good play that from Mark Dervin, Cormac, and confidence for a defender. First ball coming towards him and he wins it.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing that's noticeable with Westport so far, they had 3 of their own players sitting back in front of their own full back line. They'd Brickenden, Niall McManaman and Kevin Kane. They didn't commit that many numbers to attack, and as a result Breaffy had the defensive overload, and they were able to stop up the ball, slow it down, and then Mark Dervin got his hand in and won it back. I just think Westport maybe are a little bit tentative early doors. I think this is suiting Breaffy, playing into Breaffy's hands. O'Shea's presence alone is making them sit a little bit deeper. I think against other teams they might run the ball a little bit more and be a little bit more progressive.
Yeah, that was my next question, because I was going to mention that. Is it a fear factor almost that they're leaving 2 men back?
It definitely is. Look, O'Shea on his day has the capacity to win a lot of ball. He's the capacity to bring others into the game.
Yeah, he sure does. And a lovely little link-up play here, and Matty Ruan takes a shot, but he hooks it badly wide. It's from only 20 yards out. There was a nice little move. Aidan O'Shea was involved, Tommy O'Reilly was involved, and well sent the pass out to him, and a poor miss from Matthew Ruan. He'd be very disappointed with that. Yeah,
he should have kicked that. He had another yard or two he could have gone with it. He sometimes has a habit of missing shots from that particular angle. He generally, when he does miss them, misses them on the near post. But it just shows you the benefit of O'Shea. 3 or 4 people were sucked to him even though he didn't control it.
Yeah, fantastic play there from Tommy O'Reilly to come back and dispossess the Westport defender coming out. There may have been a slight tug of the jersey, but it was the wrong side of the referee, and it's good play from O'Reilly, who's getting well involved. This man has also been really well involved. It's Aidan O'Shea once again. He's been hassled by 2 and 3 players, and this time I think it was Pat Lambert who was back there, and he was the one that committed the foul, and it's going to be another free in for Breaffy. This one again, it's only maybe a yard inside the 45 metre line, and said it's about 10 in from the sideline. Nice angle for a left footed kicker, and I think Aidan might have a fancy a cut of this one, Cormac.
Yeah, well, he has a good kick in action. He's a very controlled kicker. I think if he just needs to get that onto the far post, that's...
Yeah, and he went short with it, and it didn't go their way whatsoever. Brian O'Malley dispossesses it. Aidan's pass to Matthew Rand didn't work, and on that occasion perhaps the shot might have been better, because now Westport can come, and they can come flying. It's Niall McManaman on the far side there. Westport trying to cut through this Breaffy defence. Chance there for Pat Lambert, 45 metres out, finds Lee Keegan, the former footballer of the year way back in 2016. He gives it to Owen McLaughlin. Little hand pass goes inside towards Pat Lambert once more, trying to find help. Gives it back to Owen McLaughlin. McLaughlin off his left foot. That's a great shot from Owen McLaughlin. He caught it nicely. Lovely link-up play from Westport, and it all came from a dispossession down the field, an unforced error, as they say, Cormac.
Yeah, that ball should have gone dead. If you're settling your feet to take the free, I think you have to commit to it, because oftentimes when you've made the decision, making another decision quickly, the execution can go awry. It went awry there, and they got punished.
Jack Livingston with the restart for Breaffy, and it bypasses midfield, but unfortunately it went too far, and back there sweeping up was Kevin Kane, but Kevin takes a very loose solo, and Conor O'Shea can pounce on it, and there's an opportunity now for Breaffy. Turnover high up the field. Will he have a shot? No. Opts to pass it inside towards Aidan. Big hit goes in there on Kevin Kane. Aidan still has the ball, trying to engineer a chance for himself again. He's gone a bit wide with it, and they're going to have to be a little bit more pragmatic. Goes back there towards Robbie Fadden now. Fadden right into the corner. Breaffy have to work things out. Aidan O'Shea needs to go back to go forward, and that he does. Finds Michael Hall, former 2-time All-Ireland winner at minor and under 21 level. Breaffy have gone right across to the far side of the field. Chance there now for Oisin Tunney. Tunney just moves it backwards once again, and Breaffy haven't had that high turnover over the field. They've just slowed things down enough, Cormac, to let Westport get back into shape.
Yeah, I think Conor O'Shea might have been better placed to take that on himself. I think when he gave that ball, Aidan, there was 2 or 3 around him straight away, and they drove him sufficiently sideways for him to recycle the ball.
Yeah, Tommy O'Reilly on the attack now, plays a nice one too. That's gone in and over the bar. Really good score from Tommy O'Reilly. He started the game nicely, got a few possessions, and that one off the outside of his left foot. It was very straight and true and over the bar. That's a real confidence booster for a man that's playing good football.
Yeah, it's a good score. I think they're getting through the centre of that Breaffy defence very, very easily. Kevin Kane has had a jittery enough start, maybe having not been back there in quite some time. He turned over a ball there, and I think he's sitting a little bit too deep, and Breaffy are able to get runners beyond the 45.
Yeah, and Conor O'Shea is one of them runners, and he plays a nice one too with O'Reilly. Conor O'Shea, Breaffy are starting to purr a little bit, but that one has just gone wide on that side. Maybe he decided to take that one on after not having the first one. It's still 2 points apiece after almost 9 minutes here, but Breaffy have also kicked 3 wides to themselves, but they'll be very pleased with how they've started.
Yeah, they've had the better of the game so far. I think their matchups are working. I think Breaffy or Westport, Aidan O'Shea's got into their heads somewhat, and they're sitting that little bit too deep, and they're allowing Breaffy to get runners from deep through the middle, and they're getting good shots away. They should have come away with maybe a score or two more, but they'll be delighted with their general play.
Yeah, Blayton pushing the back there on Paul Lambert as he was trying to attack, and it does seem to be a case that it's Westport's almost defenders per se that are doing more of the attacking for them. Niall McManaman, despite wearing 2, seems to be playing a role in the half-back line. We see Noel McLaughlin get forward, we see Paul Lambert getting forward as well. Maybe Westport just need to look into that inside line a little bit more, because we haven't seen much of the likes of Cullen Moore, among others. Tackle goes in there from a Breaffy man. It was a little bit loose. I think it was Michael Hall involved there, and it's going to give Westport a free about 40 metres out, and it's probably the first bit of rashness we've seen from Breaffy in the tackle, because so far they've been very disciplined.
Yeah, they have been very disciplined, it wasn't so much the physicality of the tackle, it was just that he went high, and like in terms of, you'd always be saying to your players to paint a picture for the referee, the second you go over the shoulder, you're in trouble. It was a free in, he hit him high. This will be a tough free though, the wind will be blowing across his face, he'll have to get a good connection. Always for the first free you'd want something a little simpler. That's 36 metres out. It'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, Killian Kilkelly, he's missed a couple of games through injury, but he's taken this one off the carpet, off his right boot, and he absolutely loves it. A good score from that right foot of Killian Kilkelly. He's just back into the team, and that is a real confidence settler from him, straight and through and over the bar.
Yeah, particularly because he hadn't been in the game much. None of the inside line had been in the game much, and to get your first free, a tough enough one to stick it over the bar, it's a good start. They're giving up all the kickouts. Breaffy have got all the kickouts bar the one that went long, and they're letting them build from the back and retaining their shape further back. So they're more concerned with Aidan O'Shea than they are with Breaffy's creativity from deep.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, all right. And look at it, I suppose it means that Breaffy are just going to have to be a little bit more controlled in that matter, because Westport, they are opting not to commit further up the field, which you can understand, but it's not a full-on defensive system either.
No, well, like Breaffy are still transitioning up through the field, particularly when off the Westport kick-out they're able to get runners in at the Breaffy or the Westport full back line. That hole again that they're able to transition into.
Yeah, Conor Melly finds Michael Hall on this side. Michael Hall takes a shot, and it's a very poor miss from Michael Hall. He'd lots of time. He'd done well to make his way up the sideline unnoticed, and I make that 4 wides for Breaffy inside the opening 10 minutes of the game, and they trail Westport by 3 points to do, or 11 and a half minutes I should say rather. But disappointing again from Breaffy, and the few wides they've had have all come from this side.
Yeah, and it's all emanating from that same hole as well. I don't think this role is suiting Kevin Kane, to be honest. I think Rory Brickington should be left with O'Shea, and I think Brian McDermott might be the better player to play, because Kane is not trusting his pace. He's sitting deep to make sure he can cover O'Shea, and he's not pushing out because he doesn't want to get caught on the turn.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It'll be food for thought for the likes of Martin Connolly on the sideline, along with Kieran Garrity and Pat Grady there. Shane Conway, of course, the coach in as well, so a good backroom team from Westport. But yeah, food for thought. They still lead by 3 points to 2, and they're on the attack once more. A man that's got a point for them already, Owen McLaughlin, comes over to this side to Luke Tunney, another late change into the team. First possession properly for Killian Kilkelly. He got that point from a free. Here's Mark Moore. Mark, very direct footballer when he gets his opportunities as well, goes back on this occasion, back as far as Pat Lambert. He's been one of the stars of the club championship for Westport so far, and that is why. What a great score from Pat Lambert. He's crashed in 12 points so far in the championship, make that 13. He's Westport's top scorer, and he's another dangerous asset in that forward line. Best point of the game.
Very natural footballer, very good kicker of the ball. Breaffy, in terms of their defensive setup, like, they wouldn't have been disappointed with Pat kicking from there. Like, that was an exceptional kick. You know, he came across the ball, got a good strike and put it over the bar. Just from a matchup perspective there, Mark Dervin and Killian Kilkelly, I'm not sure that's a great matchup from Breaffy's perspective. Killian is a very elusive runner, he's very good laterally, and Mark is more stronger coming out onto the ball.
Yeah, it certainly is. Westport pressing up a little bit higher on this occasion, and Breaffy almost getting themselves into trouble and just about getting away with it. The likes of David Livingston and Mark Dervin playing a few quick hand passes there, but living on the edge. But once they break forward, they have been good, and in particular in midfield, it must be noted that they've had all right. And of course, as we say that, they make a mistake, but it was touched on the ground on this occasion by Lee Keegan of all people, and it gives Breaffy a free. But Conor O'Shea is a player that when he's getting on the ball in the middle of the field, he's not standing idle, and it's something you coach into young players. His movement is very good, and he's penetrated the Westport defence and got through the half back line once or twice with a lot of ease.
Yeah, he's set up Aidan for an attack, and both midfielders have got shots off. There's a little bit more intensity coming on from Westport than there had been in the first 5 or 6 minutes. They are making them play the ball more side to side and more laterally in the middle third than they were. And Kane is still sitting inside. David Neary has gone inside now, and O'Shea has come a little deeper. O'Shea is sitting in. The two of them are inside.
Yeah, it's an interesting ploy, so it is, and Breaffy might have to start using them. And we were just talking about them there. Really strong running coming through from Breaffy, from Oisín Tunney. Hand pass goes across, goal chance. Oh, it's a foul from Kevin Kane, and it could be double peril for Kevin Kane. It's going to be a penalty to Breaffy, and Kevin Kane might be spending the next 10 minutes in the Westport dugout, because it did seem like a fairly blatant pull down, Cormac.
Yeah, I don't think he's too many complaints. I think there was a level of cynicism about that. I was saying to you off air before the match, I hadn't seen Kevin play in the defence in 4 years, and the last time I'd seen him play there, he had struggled. I feel it's a strange move from my perspective to see him back here today. He doesn't look comfortable to me. He's making rash decisions, because I think he feels that his pace isn't there, and if he gets stepped, he's gone out of the game, and he's hitting hard. Like, that's a penalty and a free he's given away so far. But a big thing here, Stephen, is the middle third. Westport are falling off tackles too easily. Oisín Tunney was allowed to make up way too much ground, way too easily. They have to be driving them sideways, getting hits in, turning them backwards. Yeah,
penalty comes in, it shoots and it scores. Robbie Fadden finds the top corner, and Breaffy are into the lead. A goal and 2, plays 4 points, and with the numerical advantage for the next 10 minutes, they could really try and kick on now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's reflected in the general play. I think they've been the better team so far, and I think they needed to reflect it on the scoreboard. They're going to have to push on and maybe get a few extra points before half-time, and use this 10-minute period progressively to try and really put their foot down.
Yeah, Paddy O'Malley with a bomb of a kick-out, but unfortunately it goes straight into the hands of Conor O'Shea in the middle of the field, and Breaffy are starting to purr now. Aidan O'Shea is actually isolated one-on-one with Brickington, but they don't use the ball correctly, Breaffy, and they turn it over. Pat Lambert back there doing a bit of defensive duties as well, and getting Westport on the attack. Fionn McDonough now pops the ball off towards Tunney for Westport, 50 metres from goal, goes back to Fionn McDonough once more, dummies a hand pass, gives it off towards Mark Moore, and Mark trying to get inside. The referee said there was a foul, possibility of an advantage, but I don't think Westport are going to complain too much. They can try and slow things down a bit when they're a man down, and this is going to be an opportunity now, another opportunity for Kilkelly to have a shot at the posts. It's a nice angle for a right-footed kicker. He's about maybe 7 or 8 yards off the sideline, just over 20 yards out, but after that first one, you would fancy him.
Yeah, it's a tough kick. Breeze blowing against him. Killian is a good free taker. I think he has a certain range in his frees, though. I think anything out beyond 35 metres is a little bit too far from him. So this will be an interesting one. Will he get the strike, and will he get the distance?
Yeah, we're right behind this one. We'll know straight away, and he didn't turn it in very well, and that's gone wide. The first wide of the afternoon for Westport to match the 4 that Breaffy have already. Going back to Kevin Kane and that incident, could it be a case that we don't see Kevin coming back on? Do you think perhaps Westport might bring on someone else, someone maybe the likes of a Connell Dawson or someone like that, possibly coming into the fray instead of him?
I think they're going to have to make a decision around that particular tactic, because he's already on a black, he's had a foul, he's given away a penalty, 1-1 has come off it. Like, he's in that territory, anything, and it's a free, and it's a sending off,
exactly. And the space there now, and Breaffy are starting to move with it. Ball goes inside towards Aidan O'Shea. He's out in front of Brickington once more, trying to get a shot away. Spins one way, then the under. Set an absolutely wonderful dummy. Still Aidan O'Shea. He's driving through the Westport defence. Aidan O'Shea fists it over the bar. What a score. He is causing untold damage in that full forward line for Breaffy, and they're now leading by 2. 1-3 plays 4.
Yeah, it's that combination between Conor and Aidan. Conor as well has had a very, very good first 15 minutes. His use of the ball has been good as well. He's looking for Aidan. That's what you want if you have an Aidan O'Shea inside, those dink balls in front of him and getting runners off it. But just from a physical perspective, like, Westport have an awful lot of good natural ball players. They're not that physically strong. Like, he took on 2 and 3 men there and was able to easily punch a ball over the bar. I do think they're going to have, I know Brian McDermott is picking up Matthew Ruan, but they're going to have to make a decision, I think, with O'Shea, and I don't think Kevin Kane has been the solution so far.
No, certainly not. Well, one man Westport are going to look to his Lee Keegan. He came and won that kick-off off Paddy O'Malley and spun past two Breaffy players. Here's Fionn McDonough now, goes short, and Mark Moran called for it, and I think someone else is involved there, and Westport get their wires crossed and give the ball back to Breaffy. It's Matthew Ruan, but Breaffy have no one inside the 45 metre line, so they may just have to go back to go forward for a minute, and this is the deepest we've seen Aidan O'Shea all day, just outside his own 45 metre line. It's a strange one, that, considering the space that has been in there the last couple of minutes, and maybe he's just gone back to the middle of the field trying to direct traffic a little bit. But Breaffy will be happy, they lead by 2 points, but again, they really want to try and make things count in the next 6 or 7 minutes while they have that man advantage.
Yeah, definitely, and I think what you're saying there is a lot of sense. Like, I wouldn't mind if I was Westport if Aidan O'Shea had 40 touches in the next 10 minutes, as long as they're between both 45s. It's inside there where the X factor, and that's where he's bringing the X factor, and that's where Breaffy need him. As I said to you before the match, they're going to need goals to win this match, and he's the most likely outlet for them. So I don't see his use out here, particularly when Westport can't drop a +1 in front of the full back line.
Yeah, certainly good strong running from Conor Melly, but it was just a little tug on him as he was trying to take that hand pass, and in the end it gives the ball back to Westport. And again, kind of surprising that we don't see Aidan O'Shea going inside, because I see him following Killian Kilkenny, almost going into a corner back sort of position here. I know we talk a lot about him, but he really has been such a focal point of the Breaffy attack, and it wouldn't be a big surprise at all to see him getting on the ball much more. Westport now trying to get back into this game, trailing by 2 points. I said there's almost 20 minutes on the clock in this fourth quarter final. Lee Keegan taking it on, beats one player, Opsa for a shot. Lee off the right hand side, on off his right boot. The crowd like it on the far side, and Lee Keegan loves it as well. That's a super point from him, and just when Westport were starting to be under a little bit of pressure, Keegan steps up and gets a huge score.
Yeah, great score like that. There was nothing easy about that. He was on his wrong side, not a lot of momentum in the move, and he just made the space. And look, he's for a defender, he's probably the best kicker of a ball I've seen across any county in terms of his kicking ability for a defender. That's a super score. A wing forward, corner forward, be very proud of that.
Yeah, certainly. Well, Breaffy, there's a little bit of concern for Breaffy, because by the looks of it, Michael Hall went down just after Lee Keegan took that shot, and there was no one near him, and it does appear that it's a hamstring injury more than anything, or some sort of muscular injury, because he's down receiving a little bit of treatment. And number one, he'd be a huge loss for Breaffy, and number two, this is eating away at Kevin Kane's time in the bench, so it's only going to incentivise Westport a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see how Michael Hall fares, because he's a player he's been involved with Mayo teams in the past. He's had his injury woes as well, so he's not someone that Breaffy would like to lose, particularly that focal point in that number 6 role. No,
but I see Conrad Coggle made the swap sign there as he was coming out. He's had multiple hamstring injuries over the years, so when they're going at that hamstring, there must be something nefarious.
Certainly. Westport turn over Breaffy, and McLaughlin's on the attack. He's got one so far. Is that going to curl in over the bar? No, it's not. It was a very tight one from this angle, but it didn't go over the bar, and Breaffy have another man down on this occasion. I'm not sure, is it Michael Hall once again, but it's not looking good for Breaffy. This, I said, it's a couple of players that have gone down. It's
Oisín Tunney.
I think it's Oisín Tunney, and again he went over on his own. It doesn't look very good, and I think on this occasion Breaffy are going to have to make a change. He seems to be in quite a little bit of distress down there. It looks like some sort of foot injury, so it's not looking good for him, and he's struggling to get back to his feet. So yeah, two injury concerns, and it's never a good sign when you see something like that. Cormac, he got up to his feet and he went straight back down again, so certainly there's going to be a change coming in for Breaffy. And you have a game plan. Oisín Tunney came in to start. It's not helpful for them, and it's only been an advantage to Westport, one in terms of time, but two, it just affects their game plan slightly, because let's face it, for the first 15-20 minutes of the game, everything really went for Breaffy. Everything went their way. The way they were playing, it was starting to work, and Westport were the ones under pressure. But now you see Michael Hall going down, and now you see Oisín Tunney's going to have to go off in a minute. It's not looking good in that regard.
No, it's definitely not looking. And Oisín hasn't played too much football over the course of the year, so I'm wondering, has there been an injury issue over the course of the year? He's come in, he's gone to wing back on Fionn McDonough, and I'd have to say over the course of the first 15-20 minutes he's had the best of that matchup. I think Breaffy's matchups have worked predominantly. I think they'd be happy enough. Conor O'Shea is having a big effect out in the middle of the field on Brian O'Malley. I think Michael Hall had been doing a good enough job with Lee Keegan. Robbie Fadden had been doing okay with Owen McLaughlin. So they'd be hopeful that Oisín Tunney can play on and Hall can play on.
Well, they've surrendered the kick out once again, have Westport. And interesting one actually. He has decided to keep going, Oisín Tunney, but he's walking very, very gingerly on that far side of the field. And you just wonder, it could be a liability per se. play, Cormac. You know, if a ball happened to go over there and he wasn't able to go, it could springboard a Westport attack. So perhaps it might be better if he's not able to go than to bring on someone a fresh pair of legs. But interesting one so far. Breaffy still lead it by a point, going against the grain. They were rank outsiders for this one. Westport were 1-4 on favourites before a ball was thrown in, and Westport are turning the ball over hard on the far side, and Lee Keegan is the man that's doing it. In fairness, he's been absolutely instrumental in everything Westport have done well so far, Cormac, and that's just a brilliant old school turnover, one-on-one, bottled his man up and stripped the ball from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And as is his want, the harder this has got, the more prevalent he's become. Like, since they've gone down the man, he's actually really only come into the game, you know. Oftentimes I think it needs to be really hard before he really gets moving, but he's been huge in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Huge score and a huge turnover there.
Yeah, he sure has. Here's the Westport joint captain Niall McManamon, and the other joint captain, of course, Oisin McLaughlin, on the bench today. Said such is the depth in this Westport panel. It's a good bit of running going through the middle there. It's Owen McLaughlin. He's done well on this left hand side so far. Spins a picture perfect ball in towards Mark Moran. Moran pops it back to McLaughlin once more. Another good kick pass in towards the corner, and Westport actually have found themselves in a little bit of space. Brian O'Malley is in there trying to engineer a shooting chance. Brian O'Malley, he hooks that one in and wide on the near side, and again we've seen it a couple of occasions today, Cormac. A few poor misses.
Yeah, and that definitely was a wide. That wasn't a score. Yeah, it went wide at the near post.
Yeah. It's been contended here by the substitutes. Bench in Westport has said it's a really interesting ground, this, Cormac, that all the substitutes are out because the dugout is so small, so they're all here on the sideline, but it's an interesting one. But that ball definitely went wide on the near side, and again it's another poor miss, but we're going to follow the play now because Robbie Fadden, the goal scorer for Breaffy's, on the attack, and there's an opportunity now for David Neary. Will he have a shot? He opts against it, and it just allows Westport to get back. It's still Neary, about 35 yards from goal. Jinks inside, and we talked about Lee Keegan doing that almost strip tackle. Owen McLaughlin does it, and he finds Keegan, and Keegan is bursting forward, but he's got absolutely no one in one of those blue jerseys in front of him, so he has to go back to go forward. But really good play from Owen McLaughlin there. Another one of those brilliant old school tackles, just stripping the ball.
Yeah, David Neary's a young player. He was under 20 this year, and once he went into the contact with Owen just upper body strength just took the ball off him. I thought David might have been better served when he had the one-on-one to go straight at his man rather than coming out, because he is elusive and he is quick.
Lee Keegan, that is absolutely sublime, off the outside of his right foot on the left hand side, the wrong side for a shot like that. What a score. The man still has it.
Like that from a technical perspective, that's just such high quality. Like, he's kicked one score, a monster, off his instep, and now he's kicked one off his at the outside of the boot, and like, to kick that ball as the defence is filtering across towards you, and to bring it from the left post to the right post, from a technical perspective, like, that's a very, very good kick. That's exceptional football ability. And look, he's been exceptional since they've gone down the man. James Minogue is coming on here. Yeah. He won't weaken the team. James Minogue has been a stalwart over the years.
You know, certainly not James Minogue for Breaffy. Really good footballer, well able to go, and coming off, unfortunately, is going to be Michael Hall for Breaffy, walking off fairly gingerly, and a big loss for the Breaffy team. And interestingly for Westport, Kevin Kane isn't coming back into the fray, and it looks like the other joint captain that we spoke about a minute ago, Oisin McLaughlin, is the one to come in. Not a huge surprise, Cormac, that.
No, well, like, Kevin was on the brink now at this point. So, and with O'Shea's physicality, like, you know, it's very hard, you know, not to engage O'Shea, and like, you know, if he could take you to ground very easily, and you could be down to 14 very quickly. They're going to have to make a switch in terms of who the +1 around him is going to be, but they'll be delighted with the 10-minute period. Yeah,
certainly. Bar the penalty, there hasn't been too much damage done. Heavy tackle going in there on Mark Dervin from Mark Moran, and it's going to be a free out to Breaffy. A bit of a heavy contact for Mark. I don't think it's going to be a yellow card, but the referee is just going to take note of that one. But yeah, Westport came back into the game rather well after that, but most of it again was down to the good work of Lee Keegan. He scored 2 great points, and he won a massive turnover as the rain starts to fall here, which is going to add a different dynamic to this game as well. But it was, you know, a good 10-minute spell for Westport, and now they can probably try and push on, because for the first 50 minutes of the game, Breaffy done all the good work, and for some reason when they got the man advantage, perhaps psychologically they dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, and it might have been a two-way thing. Like, maybe Westport's when they came under a little bit of pressure, brought it up a notch or two. Keegan definitely brought it up a notch or two, and has been the standout player in the last 10 or 12 minutes. But I do think, you know, and it's the age-old argument with O'Shea at full forward, like, I think you just have to commit to it and put the ball in toward him.
Yeah, well, you know, sooner said than done, and it just bounced over his head, but David Neary is running onto it in the corner, trying to keep hold of it. He does remarkably well to get it and give it back towards Tommy O'Reilly down there in the corner. O'Reilly, a point scorer so far, been bottled up around there, and a contentious line ball ball on that occasion, but I think the line ball is going to go Breaffy's way, and a good player, but good work there from David Neary, because the ball was going into Aidan O'Shea, just bounced over his head. But again, I think if it was any other Breaffy forward, David Neary had the pace. He had the pace to just get onto it, and you spoke about him perhaps not being the strongest player, but he does very well with his speed, and is technically such a good footballer.
He is a good footballer, and I was surprised not to see him play under 20 for Mayo the last number of years. He was very good for the Breaffy seniors last year, and there could be a good combo up top with his dynamism and O'Shea's power, like the little and large combination. Is O'Shea is taking the line ball, or is it going to be a throw ball? But even from Breaffy's perspective, like, I don't think O'Shea should be taking that line ball. O'Shea should be the target for that line ball. And as I said, regardless of having 50 touches, he should have 10 really important touches as close to the Westport goal as possible. Yeah,
well, he's had quite a few so far, but after winning that, after having the line ball, they lost it. And I think there was a yellow card actually shown to David Neary there, perhaps what he said. Maybe that's the reason the ball was thrown up in the end, and Westport can win it back, and Lee Keegan has it down in his own corner and needs a bit of support, and in the end he found it, and Westport just about get themselves out of dodge, as they say. But Niall McManaman's under a bit of pressure too, but there was a bit of an overzealous tackle in that, and it's going to be a free out for Breaffy. Still level, once a 3 plays 6 points. We're 28.5 minutes into the first half. It's level in this fourth Connacht Gold Mayo Senior Club Football Championship quarter final. It's all to play for the reigning county champions Westport against the finalists most recently in 2020, Breaffy. Interestingly enough, the last time these met in the championship was a semi-final in 2020, and that was the one that Breaffy bet Westport on that occasion. But Westport have come good since then, winning the county title last year. Paul Lambert sprays the ball to the far side to Lee Keegan. He's got a lot of space in front of him. If there's one man you don't want to give that space to, it's Leroy. I said former footballer of the year. He's probably been Westport's best player so far today. Hand pass doesn't go to hand straight away, and they do rather well in there. Breaffy went in towards Cullen and Cullen is in a bit of a tangle on the far side of the field. We haven't mentioned his name at all so far, really. Cormac Cullen, another good player, wasn't even involved last year for Westport, and not having a fruitful first half.
No, I think that's really his first contribution in the game. They are finding it with Breaffy's setup to find that inside line. There's only 2 of them inside because they have a third man back the field in front of O'Shea, so they're effectively playing with 5 forwards, and it's a lonely enough furrow up there so far. Like, Killian has kicked his 2 frees but hasn't really had much influence either. Breaffy would be happy enough, even though they didn't take full advantage of having the extra man for the 10 minutes, but they're doing fine. That's a very loose ball though.
Yeah, very loose ball in the defence, and there could have been a serious amount of pressure, but in fairness to Minogue, he's only on the field and that's his first touch, but he done well to just grab it and save the bacon really of Breaffy on that occasion, because it did look like a very loose pass, and playing in around your own defence, with this Westport team you don't want to give them a sniff of anything, particularly in those occasions, and it's another fairly long elusive ball, and it is to no one in particular, but it's going to be kept in on this side by David Livingston. Does well, has Matty Ruan for a bit of support. There was a few bodies going in there, so there's so many Westport players and selectors in there, or Breaffy players and selectors in around that, it's very hard to make it out. Ball goes in first time to Aidan O'Shea. Rory Brickington is all over Aidan O'Shea, and he wins the free. Psychologically, as the clock goes into the 31st minute here now, that could be a big turning point, and it could give Breaffy the opportunity to go into half time a point up. That decision on the sideline first, and then Aidan O'Shea winning that free. Good bit of play in there, and he's a nuisance.
He is, but his sheer physical power, like once he took the step in front of Brickington, it was all over really, because he wasn't going to be able to get round him. His wingspan is so big, and he just has that physicality, but they're playing him ideally. That bounce pass in front of him, you're going to have to foul him really.
Yeah, certainly, and Aidan O'Shea strokes that one in and over the bar. Hadn't too much to spare on the far post, but it puts Breaffy back into the lead. It's Aidan's 3rd point of the game, his 2nd from a free, and Breaffy in the lead now, 1-4 to 6 points, and they're just starting to come good towards half time as Paddy O'Malley floats this kick out over towards Paul Lambert just outside the 45 metre line. He's having the jersey tugged on that occasion from Tommy O'Reilly, and he gets his free and gets on with it quickly and gives it to Lee Keegan. Keegan comes into the Breaffy half of the field, sends it over the far side there towards Fionn McDonough. McDonough has been lively and probably been involved more than most Westport players so far. Good strong running from Westport, but the ball doesn't go to hand. I think it's in there with Cullen and it's right out in that far corner, and in the end it's kept in play, but it's a Breaffy man that is coming away with that, and I actually think I'm not sure, it could be Oisín Tunney in fact who came away with that one. In fairness to Oisín Tunney, we were writing him off a few minutes ago that he mightn't be able to play on after going down and staying down in the way that he did, but he's done well. He's come back into it, and that's going to do his confidence the world of good.
Yeah, he got the magic spray of water and he's ready to go again. In fairness, he's had a good first half, as has that man Tommy O'Reilly.
Yeah, huge first half from Tommy O'Reilly. Interesting to note there as a foul comes in right here from I think it was Oisín McLaughlin I think on this occasion, but just in general, Westport in the last 5 minutes have really pressed up further up the field. They're really putting pressure on Breaffy coming out of defence, and in fairness to Breaffy, they've stood firm.
Yeah, they have. They're struggling with the physicality of Breaffy and those one up tackles. You could see Robbie Fadden there had nowhere to go, but he was able to take the tackle in his own terms, and Oisin had to take him down. I think Breaffy will be delighted with their overall performance so far. It mightn't fully be reflected on the scoreboard, but they're causing an awful lot of hassle for Westport. They're breaking lines out there. Tommy O'Reilly's had a very good first half. Fadden has had a decent half. They're doing well. A lot of their matchups are working out. Conor O'Shea's had a good game. Conor Byrne is going well. They're ticking a lot of boxes so far.
It's an interesting one because we, as we clock in now to the 33rd minute, they lead by a point. If they were to go in at half time a point up, you could almost say they'd be disappointed considering the half of football that they've had. Here's James Minogue now. Lovely little hand pass there towards. Is it going to go over the bar? It's a shot from Oisin Tunney. He's back in action, so he is, and he's popped Breaffy into a 2-point lead. Oisin Tunney, a lovely score straight through the middle, and he stroked it over the bar off his right foot. That's a fabulous score, and it's given Breaffy a 2-point advantage now as we each into the closing stages of added time. Super football, but done really simply.
Yeah, done very, very simply. James Minogue made a good decision. Delayed the pass. He could have given it to Massey, but he saw the second runner was coming in Oisin Tunney. But again, it's that hole being created in front of the D, and that's O'Shea's influence. It's just his presence there is psychologically making Westport sit a little bit deeper, and they're able to get the runners off it. And Matthew Ruan could have a huge second half if Westport don't begin to push out a bit quicker, because he could break beyond midfield and really, really get in on that Westport full back line.
No, certainly, and it's food for thought. I see Michael Hall there, very disappointed looking as he goes off. But something, if Breaffy come through this, he'll be happy enough, and they'll be happy enough themselves because they're doing the business so far. I said they lead by 1-5 to 6 points, but having said that, they've had other opportunities. They kicked 4 wides in the first 10 minutes of the game. Arguably they could be even further ahead, but considering that Westport set up in a certain way with Kevin Kane in front of Aidan O'Shea, it's great for Breaffy's perspective that they've already seen Westport have had to change it. It means you're doing well. It means that things are working your way. So out of the two sides, even though they're 2 points up, they'll be extremely happy with how things have gone.
Yeah, I think Westport, and I think they might have changed to that type of system. I think they just need to find a +1 in general play, take the chance a small bit, and try and just push the ball going inside out to the wider channels and hope O'Shea just wins the ball there and has to recycle it. But I just think they have to be more aggressive, and they have to be more intense in what they've done in the first half there. They've fallen off too many tackles out in the middle third. Breaffy have got runners in Tunney at different times, in Ruan once or twice, and in Conor O'Shea breaking from the middle. Those runners are going to have to be tracked. They're going to have to slow the progression of the ball. They're just going to have to up it, and it's all right saying they're county champions and they are going to up it based primarily on that. You have to go out and you have to put in the hard yards, and this is going to be a battle. They've given Breaffy a sniff of it now, and Breaffy will push them.
Yeah, they certainly will. I see Martin Connolly, Shane Conway and the crew in there, the Westport backroom team. They have plenty food for thought as they're going in for half-time, and half-time it is here in Island and the county champions Westport find themselves in a little bit of peril. It's Breaffy, their old rivals, that are doing the business, and they lead at half-time in this encounter by 1 goal and 5 points to Westport's 6 points. Interesting to see Paul Lambert with a nice little hand pass over the top. Westport are in around and the hand pass is in. It's the cornerback, it's the captain, it's Niall McManaman with the first score.
The disparity in size, he pushed him out of the way quite easily, and Kane then kind of panicked really. An awful lot of it is going to come down
towards Pat Lambert once more. He's trying to find help. Gives it back to Owen McLaughlin. McLaughlin off his left foot. That's a great shot from Owen McLaughlin. He caught it nice.
And they drove him sufficiently sideways for him to recycle the ball.
Yeah, Tommy O'Reilly on the attack now. Plays a nice one too. That's gone in and over the bar. Really good score. Yeah, Killian Kilkelly's missed a couple of games through injury, but he's taken this one off the carpet, off his right boot, and he absolutely loves it. A good score from that. Goes back on this occasion, back as far as Pat Lambert. He's been one of the stars of the club championship for Westport so far, and that is why. What a great score from him sideways, getting hits in, turning them backwards. Yeah, penalty comes in, it shoots and it scores. Robbie Fadden finds the top corner and breaks. Then the under sets an absolutely wonderful dummy. Still Aidan O'Shea, he's driving through the Westport defence. Aidan O'Shea fists it over the bar. What a score. He is taking it on. He's one player opposite for a shot. Lee off the right hand side on off his right boot. The crowd like it on the far side, and Lee Keegan
on one to go straight at his man rather than coming out, because he is elusive and he is quick.
Lee Keegan, that is absolutely sublime off the outside.
That bounce pass in front of him, you're going to have to foul him really.
Yeah, certainly, and Aidan O'Shea strokes that one in and over the bar. Hadn't to consider the half of football that they've had. Here's James Minogue now. Lovely little hand pass there towards. Is it going to go over the bar? It's a shot from Oisin Tunney. And you're very welcome back here to lovely Island 80. So we had a slight shower just before half time, but thankfully their day stay good. The sun is still shining, and Breaffy are back out already. And said they'll be fairly happy, Cormac. We were talking about it before the break, but they lead this one by 2 points. 1-5 plays 6 points. Now there is going to be a bit of a breeze with Westport in the second half, but not a huge one like we've seen in other games this weekend. And look, it's so far so good. Westport are in there, and I'd say they could be getting maybe not a grilling, but they're going to be trying to get new things into them, because let's face it, it hasn't gone their way so far.
No, and the breeze, if anything, has died in the first half there. I think Breaffy will be very, very happy as to how things have played out so far. An awful lot of their matchups have worked, their structure has worked. They've kept the likes of Cullimore very quiet, they've kept the likes of Kilkelly very quiet. We were just saying off air there that 4 of the 5 scores from play that Westport got have either come from defenders or midfielders. Breaffy will take that if they're cordoning off the guys closer to goal and making it difficult for them. That's a win. They'll come under a little bit more pressure now because it'll be easier to shoot from a little bit further out. This is the scoring goal in Island 80, but this is a big game now, a big half for Westport. Like a lot of people felt going in here today that this was a straightforward enough game, but like Breaffy have a lot of experience in senior football over the last 10 years, and they've 2 all-stars out on the pitch. So they have a lot of quality in their ranks. So it's a big half for both clubs. I think Breaffy, if they won this, it would be a huge statement from them. If Westport were to win this after the half that they've put in, I think you'd see better performances maybe further on. It could be the thing that they need. They didn't have a very competitive group, and they came in maybe a little bit cold here today. So it's a huge half of football, a lot at stake, and hopefully it'll be as entertaining as the first half was.
It certainly is. And just we're almost ready to go. Breaffy really going for it, and Aidan O'Shea is back into midfield, and we're back underway once more. And Aidan O'Shea has the ball broken off him there by Fionn McDonough, and Westport are going to have the first chance to launch an attack at the start of this second half. Paul Lambert, hand pass goes over his head, but thankfully Oisin McLaughlin was there to win it and sends a nice ball inside towards Cullimore. The first time we've properly seen Cullimore win ball out in front, back off towards Paul Lambert. Lambert cutting inside, he's just knocked out towards the side. The referee said there was a push in the back there from Oisin Tunney. An interesting one, perhaps a little bit much, and I think perhaps if it was Paul Lambert, if it wasn't Paul, the free might have been given. Paul slightly smaller in stature, so the shove that was given to him by Oisin Tunney was enough to send him flying, and enough for a free.
Yeah, he got the free in, but it was better from Westport. There was a little bit more pace on what they were doing. Got the ball inside to Cullimore, and Cullimore fed the runner. Paul Lambert was up high, went at his man. Westport have to play to their strengths. Their strengths is mobility and pace, keeping the ball moving, keeping the point of attack moving, and getting those second and third man runners. That's where they'll make hay, and that's what they have to commit to.
No, certainly. We see Martin Connolly walking past us here, the Westport manager. He wasn't even back in the dugout before the time that free was over the bar, and Westport have it back to a 1-point game now. 1-5 to Breaffy, plays 7 for Westport, and this one is right in the melting pot. Breaffy get the restart and get the ball back underway once more. We were just saying before half time as well that it's going to be a big second half as well for Jack Livingston. He hasn't experienced anything like this before, even a young footballer, but a lot of promise for him as a goalkeeper. But of course with Robbie Henley transferring up to Dublin, what's given him an opportunity this year. Kick pass goes inside and it just goes above the head of James Minogan. Straight away in the second half there already seems, Cormac, to be a bit more intensity from Westport, and they're already on the attack once more. Great kick pass now down towards Pat Lambert. Lovely ball inside towards Cullimore. Hand pass goes across to Kilkenny, but Kilkelly just doesn't get it up into his hands in time, and in the end Breaffy managed to get a scramble and to defend the ball really well. And good football there from Westport. Really good link-up play, but unfortunately it was just hands that let down. Kilkelly in the end.
Yeah, but that's the football that they're good at, switching the point of attack. Lovely foot pass, angled ball by Pat Lambert, well won by the pivot Cullimore and fed the runner. It was just his hands really more than anything that came unstuck. Breaffy are turning the ball over too easily now, and this is where they need to be careful. They need to take the sting out of the game. Westport are having a period now where they're on top. Breaffy can't keep feeding the beast and turning the ball back over, because Westport are very, very good on the transition and very quick getting back up the field.
Yeah, the ball was actually broken from the sideline. I think it was Owen McLaughlin who stepped over the sideline for Westport, and Aidan O'Shea has come out to the middle of the field for the throw ball because of that, and he's going to go up in there with Fionn McDonough, and Aidan O'Shea uses his body so well to get the ball into his grasp as it's surrounded by Westport players, and he's to find support and does it with a kick pass, but it's a bit of a loose one. It goes a good bit backwards, and it's just putting pressure on the Breaffy team straight away. Lovely little incisive football there, and they just managed to hold things up, and Matthew Ruan plays that quarterback role and spreads the ball across to the far side of the field, and now they can launch a bit of an attack for themselves. Breaffy coming good in this second half. I said they've started slowly, 3 minutes gone, and Westport have got the only point so far, but smart football gives an opportunity now to Oisín Tunney, a little bit loose, and it spills in there, and a free in for Breaffy. Contentious enough decision on that one, Cormac. It looked like he really dove to get the ball in a certain way, not dove per se, but really stretched for however to get the ball, but you know, he showed desire and he won his free.
Yeah, it's one of those frees, like there was a massive element of luck to it, really, to a degree. Like, it was a skill error and the ball got away from him, and he committed to get it. He just got hit slightly late. You can see them giving, you can see them not, but it's an important kick.
Yeah, Aidan O'Shea from around the edge of the D off his left foot. It strikes the post. Who's going to react quickest to it? There's a Breaffy man in there. I think that's David Neary, and unfortunately for Breaffy, Westport come away with it. But you know, already in the second half we've seen things just haven't gone Breaffy's way, and that really typifies it when that ball hitting the post.
Yeah, the next few minutes now are crucial, because Westport are beginning to get a little bit of a pep in their step. So Breaffy need to be slowing the ball down, retain their structure, and make it as difficult as possible for Westport to get that ball inside. And when they get it inside, when they get it up the other end, they have to be a little bit more cohesive and punish.
Yeah, and already it looks like Breaffy have been very compact and very resolute in defence in this second half. Lee Keegan though pops the nice little pass off there towards Oisín McLaughlin, who's driving through but needs support. There's a swarm on from the Breaffy defenders. Colin Moran is surrounded on this occasion. He gets a hand pass out to Mark Moran. Moran trying to find some help from somewhere, does well and goes all the way back there towards Pat Lambert, but the ball isn't a good one and it's broken away by Breaffy, and there's an opportunity now on for a counter attack here. Conor O'Shea has Matthew Ruan bursting forward. Matthew Ruan, the hand pass goes off to him. Can he get the ball inside to Aidan O'Shea? Back it goes to Conor O'Shea. Conor O'Shea steps inside Fionn McDonough. Still Conor O'Shea goes to ground, wins his free. Really good play from Breaffy, but it all came from a loose pass from Mark Moran that went over the head of Lambert, and Breaffy were on the attack, and it was that focal point in the middle of the field. We've talked about Conor O'Shea as well, how he's had such an impactful first half. A super drive and run from him, and in the end Breaffy win the free.
Yeah, psychologically that could be a big moment in this game, because Westport got pushed out to the tram lines, panicked a small bit, turned it over. Conor O'Shea won the ball back, and he had the right man on his shoulder, Matthew Ruan, and they were able to bring the game 30 metres, 40 metres up the field. That's a big score. Yeah,
after winning his free, he slots it over the bar himself. A first of the day for Conor O'Shea, and Breaffy have re-established that 2-point lead they had at the break, and after 5 minutes of the second half they lead by 1-6-7. And in fairness to Conor O'Shea, he done the business himself on that occasion, you know, winning the free and then taking the kick. And Westport now under pressure. O'Malley's kick out has gone astray. There's a chance now for David Neary. Will he go for goal? Neary's in, he shoots high and it goes over the bar. Real good opportunity for Breaffy. It could have been another goal, but they'll take the point, and they've stretched it out to the biggest lead we've seen so far today. 1-7 plays 7.
Yeah, it was important to come away with something, but he should have hit the youngin sack really, and it would have been a massive statement in this game. But he did well. He stepped inside. He has pace. He has good ball control. It was just a finish. He should have kept a little bad kick out again.
Yeah, Paddy O'Malley now is coming under big pressure because the ball doesn't go to hand at all, and David Neary's going inside once more. Neary's got a point to his name. Is he going to get another one? He doesn't get the ball. The hand pass away, and Aidan O'Shea's in there trying to scramble it from Brickenden. Perhaps that's a little bit of an experience from David Neary, because you know he could have had a shot, he could have passed it away, and with all the momentum Breaffy had, it's turned on its head now, and it's Westport who are coming on the attack. Ball goes inside there towards Pat Lambert. Lambert has been hassled by Mark Dervin, and another Westport player, Lee Keegan, went down off the ball, and it's going to be a free in for Westport. I'm not sure, is the referee going to have words with one player in particular on this occasion? I think he's just going to let it off, but you can tell in the last 5 minutes, Cormac, the pace, the intensity, everything has really been upped, and you really feel like this is a proper knockout championship game.
Yeah, and I think Westport have come round to the idea that they're going to be pushed every step of the way here. They're going to have to wake up, and they're going to have to do it soon. That was a good foul there by Mark Dervin, who's allowed Robbie Fadden to sit in. Breaffy have been cute. They're not letting Westport play this game on their terms, and that's pace and running ability. They're slowing everything. They're getting a sweeper in situ, and they're making it very, very difficult.
Super defending there for Breaffy. They're really doing this so well, and I said it's 14 players kind of going back there. Aidan O'Shea is still up top as a focal point, just putting a little bit of pressure on Westport. Here's Paul Lambert now, centre half back, sends a hand pass there across towards Kilkelly. It's very high. Is it going to go over the bar? It's not. It's tailed wide, and I make that 3 3 wides now this afternoon for Westport, and you know, again, from a psychological point of view, it's a big loss, so it is not getting that over the bar, particularly because Breaffy have kicked the last 2 points. It just gives them another little advantage, and Breaffy have won the kick out, and now they've won their free.
Yeah, look, they're playing the game exactly the way they want to play it. They're pressing the pressure points. That was a panicked enough kick. Westport are getting a little bit frustrated. Westport like to play a looser game. They like to get their forwards into the game. Something that I suppose an issue with Westport over the years in terms of their forwards, and that's why Kevin Kane was brought up there, was they were all very samey, they were all very elusive, very quick, and sometimes when they were stood up, their decision making could be awry. So definitely Breaffy are pressing the buttons and making them play through the phases and making them make decisions.
They sure are. Mark Dervin has the ball inside the Westport 45 metre line, the furthest we've seen him get up the field today. Westport have also made a change. We've seen Alan Kennedy, he was named to start, he's come into the play, so he has an off has come Pat Lambert, surprisingly. Pat, the only point scorer Westport have had from play from their forward line in the first half of that game. So again, it's an interesting one, but it shows that Westport are under a bit of pressure, that they've had to use their bench in the way that they've had, and into the tackle goes David Livingston, but he does well to get it out to Conor O'Shea. Conor O'Shea though slipped as he was just solo on the ball and found himself under pressure, and it's a bit of a scramble on, but the ball has managed to get up into the hands of James Minogue. Minogue has done really well since he's come on, gives it into David Neary. Neary now, point to his name a few minutes ago, he's been tackled well, and in fairness to Brian McDermott, he's gotten the better of Neary in the last 2 occasions, and that's going to give a lift to the Westport defence. And a huge call actually on this occasion. Lee Keegan has been done for over carrying as it came out. Looked like he was going to give the free to Westport, and Breaffy now are going to have a free right on the 45 metre line, and it's going to give an opportunity to, I think it's going to be Jack Livingston, to come up and take it, to stretch Breaffy's lead out to 4 points. That's a massive call.
It's a massive call, but I think it's something that has the referees have been very tight on over the course of the club championship is steps, and I think he was on the 5th or 6th step. In fairness, Conor O'Shea, Matthew Ruan, Aidan O'Shea got in around him. I think Aidan had foul on his mind really when he saw Lee taken off, and he did foul him, but he had the steps taken beforehand. But you can definitely see Breaffy are making sure this game is going to be tight. It's going to be a very thought out game, but this is where possibly they'll miss Robbie Henley over the years. He was generally very good with these. That's a super kick.
Yeah, well, I tell you something, Jack Livingston is living up to his name. What a score that is, and Breaffy have stretched it out now to a 4-point lead, 1-8-7, and Westport, the reigning county champions, are really under the cosh. 10 minutes into this second half, they trail by 4 points, and the pressure is starting to come on them now, and they're starting to come on Paddy O'Malley. He's had a bit of trouble with his last couple of kickouts, but he goes long with this one and tries to go out on top of the big midfielder, and it's dropped into the hands of Ushie McLaughlin, and McLaughlin wins a free 50 yards out, sends it in straight away to Kilkelly now, or Alan Kennedy rather. First touch for Kennedy, and Kennedy had a jersey tugged. It was pulled, in fairness, you could see it, but one of the softer frees you'll see today, but by the letter of the law it was a foul, and it's going to give Westport an opportunity now, about 10 yards in from this right hand touchline, to bring the gap back to 3.
Yeah, and it's a pressure kick. It's a kick. Momentum is going against them. He's not a left-footed free taker. He's better off the right foot. He'd try and put it onto the far post, but this is where a free taker earns his corn now. The pressure kicks. Yeah,
slight breeze at his back, and it's a really good score. Nice strike from Kilkelly. He done well, and he strokes it over the bar. A second point, I believe, for him, or third point rather, from him from a free today, and it gives Westport a foothold in this second half. 1-8 now to 8 points, and Breaffy are still doing well. They're doing the business, and I said Westport now need to come back into this game a little bit more. On the sideline, Cormac, go for it from in this perspective. You're Westport, you're trailing by 3 points as something's happening on the far side. I think the referee is telling us, I'm not sure is it a Mayrishka from Westport or something that is getting sent off from the far side, and he must have been in the word of the linesman over there, but the Westport Mayrishka on the far side has been told they have to leave the field of play. But going back to it, Cormac, the bench now from Westport, you're a manager, what are you looking for your team to do? What changes can you make from there to try and impact the game?
Well, I think Finbar McLaughlin could be an option to come inside. I think as much as anything there needs to be a change of pace in terms of mentality and attitude here. They have to get back to the things that they were good at. I thought in the first half they gave Breaffy too much respect. For a team that are the county champions coming up in here, they should be on the front foot. They should have dictated terms. I think they've given Breaffy a bit of an in here now. This is what they're good at, and this is what they need to do.
Yeah, Lee Keegan does really well there in the middle of the field to give Westport a bit of a foothold, and pops the ball off towards Pat Lambert, and Lambert done well to win his free, and it's going to be a free for Westport. It was right out on that far side near the crowd, and the crowd are really getting into this one, and you can see Aidan O'Shea is dropping back a little bit deeper now. He's, it's not a stage yet for Breaffy, because there's still a good 18-20 minutes left of this game to be coming back and trying to shut up shop, but it's an interesting one, and they're going to put Westport under pressure, because we've seen Westport in a situation. I recall that famous county semi-final against Belmullet back in in 21 where they came under the cosh a little bit and things didn't go their way, and they were certainly ambushed that day. But Colm Moran is on the attack now for Westport. He's driving at Breaffy defence. Can he get a shot away? It could be another foul. The referee says play on. Contentious one that, but Breaffy come away unscathed on this occasion. Westport feel like there was a foul in there. It was difficult to know. There was an awful lot of bodies, but Breaffy win the free and they're surrounding the referee. There's an awful lot going on and off the ball. Cormac makes sense of it all.
Yeah, look, that's a big call there. We're slightly unsighted as to what happened, but from what I feel happened there, Colm Moran went through and he tried to drop the ball onto his foot and the ball came away from him, and as a result he swung a leg, so he looked like he was felled, but he kind of felled himself as much as anything else to get that shot away.
Yeah, Breaffy,
just from Breaffy's perspective, Stephen, Mark Dervin's took an awful lot of ball out of defence. I think they need to get somebody else to start taking that ball out. He's a few times there he's been close to being turned over, and
he was turned over on that occasion, and he gives Westport a chance, and Westport have moved the ball on, and Colm Moran has won a free. Similar enough position for Killian Kilkelly to where he's kicked that last free from, and there's going to be another chance now for Westport to eke it back and bring it back to a 2-point game. I said very fascinating stuff. A huge crowd here in Island 80 for this one, in this fourth Connacht Gold Mayo Senior Championship quarter final. As he said, Castlebar, Knockmore, Ballina, they're all in to the pot for the last four, but who'll be the fourth team? Kilkelly wants to bring Westport there. He's kicked 3 points. Is that one going over the bar as well? It's gone out onto the near post and wide, so another wide for Westport. That's make that 4 for the afternoon for them now. And again, from a psychological point of view, it would have been a big score for Westport to get, particularly because it came from a turnover high up the field, and it would have pushed them on even further.
Yeah, and this is where on Championship Sundays where your free taker comes into it. Like you need a guy to stand over the ball.
I was going to say
this man has been exceptional.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one, and in fairness, there was communication was poor from Breaffy on that occasion, because Conor O'Shea came clattering into his own cornerback Conor Melly. The two of them went up for the ball in the middle of the field. It didn't go to either man's hand. There was a big collision between the two of them. Conor O'Shea managed to get himself up and win the break, and then probably petulantly enough from Brian O'Malley, but the hand in round the shoulder and a high enough tackle that's always going to warrant a yellow card. But the two Breaffy players that were down on the ground, they're back up, but the power and the pace that Conor O'Shea has put into the game today, he's been outstanding.
He's incredible. That was some win there. Like he pretty much the hardest tackle he took there was from his own man, and he took it and still won the break. But
yeah, you do find Westport are putting Breaffy under pressure, and when Breaffy have played the ball around a little bit too much, particularly in their own half of the field, they put themselves under pressure. This one goes in long, and two more Breaffy players clash into each other, and Colm Moran comes away with the ball. Here's Alan Kennedy now. Will he have a look at the post? As only on the fray a couple of minutes, and it's another free in for Breaffy. This one on the 13-metre line. It's out towards the side, but it's going to give them another chance. Breaffy have done so well this afternoon. They don't want to turn into the architects of their own downfall, but it's starting to pan out that way.
No, they're too passive across their 45 at the moment. I think at this point, from a tactical perspective, it might be a good idea to drop O'Shea between midfield and their own 45 and use him as a pivot and start just putting the ball through his hands, because he's able to break tackles, he's able to take tackles on his own terms, he's able to suck people to him, and he'd be able to get runners off him and send Ruan away and send Conor O'Shea away. I think they might need him out in the middle now for the next 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, well, Killian Kilkelly's after knocking that one over the bar, and now it's back to a 2-point game. It's now Breaffy 1-8, Westport 9 points, and it's a 2-point game. Mark Moran is making way, and Finbar McLaughlin is coming on for him, so Westport are starting to roll the dice. You mentioned that Finbar McLaughlin was a player that could come into the game, and he's a good young footballer as a younger brother of Owen, and Breaffy managed to win the ball from their own kick out, but again it's back in this danger zone, and the ball nearly went over the head of Livingston, and Livingston's playing it across his own goal. Very dangerous play, but Breaffy managed to come away with it, and it's good football by Conor Byrne. Haven't heard an awful lot from him. There's a hand pass goes loose in the middle of the field, but Breaffy managed to hold on to it. James Minogue looked like he was pushed in the back on that occasion out in the middle of the field, and indeed he was. Aidan O'Shea's come deep, so he has, and for Breaffy, they're playing the ball around in the middle of the field. When Aidan O'Shea isn't there, it's a different dynamic. At least when he is in the middle of the park, he adds that bit of physicality, that little bit of strength, and more so, very composed on the ball.
Yeah, and as I said, he's able to take it on his own terms. Like even to get the tackle in there, they had to foul him.
Yeah,
like they need somebody just to take the temperature of the match here now and realise that they need to retain the ball, but they need to be progressive, and he is the right man just to get on the ball, put him on the ball as often as possible, work through the phases. At the moment, it isn't about putting a big score up here for Breaffy. It's just about surviving the next 3 to 4 5 minutes, and he's the right man to do that.
Yeah, Aidan O'Shea goes long to try and fight Connor. It's broken inside. Connor O'Shea is in on goal. Opportunity goes to ground. The referee says play on. He's been hassled there by Brian McDermott. He has to go all the way back to try and find Robbie Fadden. Big moments there for Connor O'Shea. He just couldn't get it into his hands. I think credit has to go to Paddy O'Malley on that occasion as well. He was out very quickly to narrow the angle, and in the end Westport turned the ball over. Another huge turning point in the game as Westport now try and come on the attack.
Yeah, that looked like a set piece move to me there.
Yeah,
sucked everybody out and hit it over the top. There could be trouble here.
Yeah, it looks like Paul Lambert had an altercation there with Aidan O'Shea. I'm not sure the referee has seen it. We certainly saw something going on. Aidan O'Shea is down. The referee says play on. Could be very interested in a moment or two. It'll be interesting if either of the linesmen saw that one. We're going to follow the play though. Westport still only trailing this game by 2 points. Aidan O'Shea is back on his feet. Lee Keegan now for Westport. They're going to have to look to him in the next 15 or 20 minutes. They're going to try and get back into this one. Hand pass goes across to Finbar McLaughlin. First touch for him. 12 minutes to go in this encounter. Westport trail by 2. Kilkelly on the ball. He's kicked over a couple of points today. None of them from play just yet. Still Kilkelly needs to find an option inside. Lovely little hand pass finds Colin Moran. Moran coming on the loop. Has he got a left foot? He shoots and it's going to drop in, and Livingston grabs it and he takes a heavy hit on that occasion. I think it's Fionn McDonough that went in on him, and it's a free out for Breaffy. But it'll be very interesting to see if the referee is spoken to by either of his linesmen, because there was a big altercation there off the ball between Paul Lambert rather, and Aidan O'Shea.
Yeah, well, it was a striking action really. Like if it was spotted, he could be in trouble. But Tommy O'Reilly was back there again, Stephen, and he helped with Conor Byrne just to put enough pressure on Colin Moran there. That would have been a soft enough score for a player Colin Moore's ability, but the two boys dived on his foot, just about did enough, blocked the ball, went into the keeper's hands, and this suits Breaffy. David Livingston is down now. They can take a little bit of energy out of the game for a few minutes, or Jack Livingston is down now. They can take a little bit of energy out of the game, take the temperature of the match, and every second that goes, they're getting closer to the finishing line. And so far, they'll be happy enough. Westport have dominated maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes without being that dominant either, and looking like they're about to carve Breaffy open. Breaffy are still retaining their structure. I think the big thing for Breaffy is to retain that structure and keep this game played on the terms that it's been played on at the moment.
Yeah, it's an interesting enough one, all right. And Fionn McDonough picked up a yellow card for his troubles there. I think it was a heavy enough hit he put in on Jack Livingston. And in fairness to Livingston, we spoke about it, how it'll be a big half of football for him. He's put in a really good shift, and he's done quite well for himself. He's put himself about more than anything. And for a young man, first time playing in a situation like this, it's a huge day for him. And he goes along with this free out, but it's only into Rory Brickenden. But Aidan O'Shea just uses all of his strength to win the ball back off Brickenden, and now he's putting them on the attack, and a lovely little hand pass sets Matthew Ruan away inside the 45 metre line. Fionn McLaughlin is chasing back. Matthew Ruan hasn't scored yet today, but he's trying to get an opportunity for himself. Probably took too much out of it, and he's surrounded now by Westport bodies, and in the end he drops the ball out, and it goes out over the sideline, and the linesman on the far side says it's a line ball to Breaffy. I think Matty probably should have pulled the trigger a bit sooner, Cormac.
Possibly, yeah. He was maybe kicking into that goal, and the breeze maybe blowing across his face put him off somewhat, but it was telling though when he did turn back there was no support. Breaffy have to still go out to try and win this game, and not get too defensive in their mindset. But again, what I was saying earlier there, O'Shea to come deep and to get Ruan over the top running from deep, because that's something he's very, very good at.
Yeah, Westport haven't scored, or not Westport, but Breaffy haven't scored in the last 10 minutes. And again, it's just eking into it, because Westport have chipped away at that 4-point lead. It's been cut in half. It's now 2 points as 1A plays 9. Of course, our coverage on Mayo GA TV today, with thanks to the Mayo Credit Unions, and on Midwest Radio, it's with thanks to Ceramic City. But Breaffy have a free on the far side of the field. Aidan O'Shea has moved into the edge of the square, and well, it's an awful long distance to have a shot. It'd be a wonder score if it was to go over. It's going to drop in on the far side. David Neary almost had it, and I wouldn't mind, but he almost caught it into his chest rather, but he managed to bobble the ball out, and it just gives possession back to Westport. And now the Covies are going to come on the attack, and they're going to try and get this game back into their way. But in fairness to David Neary, for a player that lost the ball, he chased the whole way back and put in the tackle, and results in a line ball to Westport. Yeah,
great desire shown by David. David has had a kind of a mixed bag. He's nearly been brilliant here today, but he's constantly asking questions. I like his work rate, I like his attitude. He should have maybe held that ball, but we'll see what happens here. If they can hold out for the next few minutes, you could be bringing Westport Westport into panic stations.
Yeah, McLaughlin got a point in the first half, jinking left and right, trying to get help, but super defending in there from Breaffy, and they managed to scoop the ball out. They've turned it over and they're trying to come away with it. Really good play. McLaughlin was caught in two minds once he got that ball, and Breaffy have won themselves another free out. They're really doing well defensively, and you know they're set up, their structure quite well, because even when the ball, as you said, has gone into the pivot to the likes of Cullenmore, they have been in positions where they're able to win it back, and not even just win it back, but you know, get the pressure on, stop them getting good shots away. And compared to the system we saw what Westport set up in the first half, Breaffy have done better.
Yeah, a lot better. And to be honest, like, a system is only as good, Stephen, as the intensity at which it's played with, you know. And Breaffy's intensity all day has been great. I've watched James Minogue off the ball, busting a gut to get back in the hole. You know, they've been diving on balls. They haven't been passive in any way, shape or form. They're bringing Westport, are going so far, and Westport are panicking a small bit, and their decision making has gone awry. I think they need to spread the play out and make those out to in runs. They need somebody on the pitch here now to take control and bring them through a few phases and make a series of good decisions. Lee Keegan has gone quiet in the last 15-20 minutes, and they're going to need him, I feel. Yeah,
it was at this stage in the first half that Lee really stepped up and kicked those two monstrous points. I also see, interesting enough, Conor McGrainer is stripped and ready to come in for Wexford, the former Wicklow footballer. And let me tell you, if you haven't seen this man before, he's a really strong player, really tall. He could add a bit of physicality, almost Aidan O'Shea-esque. He's a huge size, so he is from a physical point of view, and he could add a different dynamic to Westport, perhaps something that they've lacked a little bit, a focal point per se.
Yeah, a different option, as I was saying earlier, and that's why they moved Kevin Kane up to the forward line a few years ago. The forwards were all technically very good ball players, but they were all a bit samey and all wanted the ball in the same positions. Conor McGrainer gives them a different outlet where they can maybe just bomb a ball on top and cause a bit of consternation and look to play off the second ball, you know. So I think it's something that they probably need. They definitely need to change attack anyway, because for all the possession they've had and all the turnovers they've had in the second half, they're not really asking any questions of Breaffy.
No, they certainly aren't. Fionn McDonough now on the ball. I can tell you there's no player in the Westport half of the field. Rory Brickenden sends a diagonal ball inside towards Cullenmore, and it just evades Moore, and it was a really good ball, but unfortunately it zipped past a little bit too much and goes out over the end line, and it's a fifth wide of the afternoon for Westport. Double sub actually coming in for Westport. Young Connell Dawson coming into the fray as well. So two changes coming from Westport. Not sure who's going off as of yet. I think one of them might be Brian O'Malley. He has picked up a yellow card, so maybe a smart change there. Dawson, another one of these young athletic players. And Breaffy are also going to make a change. It's a good sign too from Westport, in fairness. You know, they're trusting younger players, the likes of Fionn McLaughlin and Connell Dawson. You know, young players, senior championship football. It's a big task for them, but you know, this is where you'll grow and develop as a footballer.
Well, it's the only place you'll grow and develop. To be honest, you can be playing in-house games or challenge games all you want. This is where development happens. You know, you see it with the likes of Ollie Armstrong and Knockmore. You know, being put out there into championship football, that's where you'll grow as a player.
For Breaffy, Paddy Burke is into the fray for Conor Melly, and the other Westport player going off is Luke Tunney. Out they go, and Matthew Ruan soars high into the sky and wins that kick out for Breaffy. Breaffy needed that little bit of respite, and a really good win from Ruan. He sends a long ball in towards David Neary. It's an elusive one, but Neary has the pace to get into the corner. He does really well. He's trying to cut past Brian McDermott. Neary shows great strength. Still Neary, hand pass over the top. A chance for Tommy O'Reilly, but it doesn't go to hand. It's still loose. Oh, and it's dragged wide. What an opportunity that was for Breaffy. That could have been the game right there. A huge moment in the game, and the shot was dragged wide. Westport were carved open, and in fairness to David Neary, he showed great strength, so he did, to get past it. Someone kicked the ball off the tee there for Paddy O'Malley, and I think it's going to be going into the book for that one. Paddy Burke's first touch of the football to get that. You know, you dream of these sort of things, but unfortunately for him, it didn't go his way at all.
Yeah, he just couldn't get enough of the instep. Couldn't get his foot around the ball well enough. But it just shows you, like, David Neary has put in a very honest performance inside there. He's ran the line very, very well all day. He's caused Brian McDermott as much hassle as I've seen anyone cause Brian McDermott in quite some time. He's a handful, David Neary. He's a really good player. What I really like about him is he's aggressive. He wants to go with his man. He wants to ask questions. I think he's a player of a lot of ability, and a player that you could see and hear an awful lot more of in the near future.
No, certainly. Westport coming on the attack. They still trail by 2, but we're down to the last 4 minutes of normal time now. Fionn McLaughlin with the ball in hand, or giving Westport a bit of an outlet. Here's Lee Keegan. I see McGrainer has gone into that edge of the square area, so Westport could look towards a it, but it's out in front. He wins this one, and he's been pressured by 1 and 2 players, and Mark Dervin dove in, and it's a free in for Westport out on the left-hand side, and it's going to give Killian Kilkelly another opportunity to cut the gap back to 1. But straight away, similar to what we've seen with Aidan O'Shea, you know, he might be big and tall and strong, but when the ball comes in front of him and he wins it, it's so hard to dispossess him.
Absolutely. But I just think in terms there, it was a foolish tackle on Mark Dervin's part. Conor McGrainer was moving away from goal. He had his back to goal. His only decision really was to recycle the ball. He didn't have any hard runners coming off him, and he came through the back of him. He gave him the thing that he wanted most. This is a pressure kick, though. This is a big kick in the context of Westport's season. It's
an interesting one that he's taken it off the ground, but he's been good so far today. Killian Kilkelly, 4 points to his name, strikes it off the ground into the clubhouse goal. It's dipping in and wide on the far side, so it's another wide. I make it 6 wides now for Westport, and a big miss on this occasion, and it gives Breaffy that little bit of respite, because there's a massive difference between a 2-point lead and a 1-point lead coming down the stretch. And once Breaffy have that 2-point lead, you do fancy they're going to try and hang on. Kick out goes long up towards Aidan O'Shea. Rory Brickington was all over Aidan on that occasion, and it's going to be a free for Breaffy just in the middle of the park. Aidan just smart, got his body in front of the man straight away, and unfortunately for Rory Brickington, that foul was always going to be given against him.
Yeah, that ball was won before he ever got off the ground. He just took all of Rory Brickington's space away from him, used his backside, used his wingspan, and won a crucial free. Unfortunately for David Neary, he again showed very, very well for the ball, but his handling just let him down. Yeah,
he's had some great moments, and then he's had some moments to forget this afternoon, the young Breaffy man, but it'll be certainly a game he'll remember for a long time either way, depending on how it goes. But Westport are trying once more to get themselves back into it. Alan Kennedy fouled on this occasion inside the 45-metre line, and it'll present another opportunity for Killian Kilkelly to have a shot at goal. An interesting one with this, you know, we've seen Westport in the second half, but all of their scores in the second half, you know, they've come from the boot of Kilkelly from frees. It hasn't that they've shown too much penetration from play. They've all come from frees, and you know, he's missed 1 or 2. This is a bit further out than the last one. He's going to take it from his hands, but it's another pressure kick for Kilkelly, and as I said, it's out on that left-hand side once more. He's looking into that clubhouse goal, big crowd behind it, huge moments this in Westport's season. That one is even wilder than the last one, and it's gone well wide, and you know, once again it's another miss for Westport, and that's 7 wides on the day, and the clock is ticking on a little bit further. I see Pierce Dean is coming in for David Neary on this occasion. Another player very similar, another Mayo minor a couple of years ago, coming into the fray for Breaffy. More youthful legs going in there, but again, you're looking at it from Westport's perspective. You know, those 2 frees, had they gone over the bar, it's a level game.
Yeah, and you look at across the board at county championship winning teams over the last 10 years, like Killian was metronomic, and particularly in the biggest moments. You know, you've Peter Naughton and Knockmore. Like, you have to be able to lean on a guy just to be able to stick the big one when you need it most, you know.
Yeah, Conor O'Shea goes up into the middle of the field, and it's won well by Breaffy in the end. Aidan O'Shea managed to have it. He sends the highest hand pass I think we've ever seen over to the far side, over there towards Paddy Burke, but they do well, and Breaffy retain possession. They play it round the hands really nicely. Hand pass goes inside towards Pierce Dean. First possession for him, son of Mayo minor manager, former Mayo minor manager now, Sean Dean. Is an opportunity for him to make a name for himself in this last couple of minutes. Rory Martin on the far side for Breaffy, coming under serious amounts of pressure. Matthew Rand, Conor O'Shea, they're all around there. In the end, a Westport player goes in. I think Rory Brickington was the man that got himself in between Breaffy and the ball, and managed to win it back, and done really well there, because you know, Breaffy were just starting to hold on to the ball a little bit, and often in situations like that you can see the defensive team can get frustrated and give away a silly free.
Yeah, they can, but like, Breaffy have struggled to retain the ball at any stage in the second half here. They're literally just playing for time here and trying to wind down the clock, and they'd want to be careful. They need to get O'Shea on as much ball in that middle area of the field, and use him as a pivot to put the ball left, to put it right, win frees, suck people to him, go through phases. He's the man they need to put on the ball, because he is the strongest man they have out there, and it's something he's very good at.
Yeah, well, it's a yellow card for Aidan O'Shea, and Westport now are coming into squeaky bum time, as they say. They trail by 2. It's in added time. They need to find something. McLaughlin back to Fionn McDonough. McDonough off his left boot. Is that one going over the bar? No, it's not. It's gone wide. It was a wild shot from McLaughlin. It's 8 wides now for Westport. A Breaffy player is down off the ball. I don't know what happened on that occasion. Well, it's kind of following other bits of play, but again, you know, Westport, they've been very rash in the second half and haven't showed the composure that we've seen before.
No, they've been very passive throughout the game. They're showing an element of frustration now, which I think is more to do with frustration with their own performance, but their decision making up top has been poor. They have Sorry, Stephen.
No, you're okay. No, absolutely. The decision making is important. I think Fionn McDonough is going to see the last action of the game. He's already been booked, and there was certainly an altercation there. He could find himself in big trouble as well. And well, let's face it, he's on a yellow card. He's going to see the end of a day, and it's a straight red card. Already been on a yellow. Fionn McDonough, a straight red card for Westport. That has kind of summed up the afternoon for them. And as we go into added time even further, we're almost 90 seconds into it now. Breaffy still lead by 2, and Westport now are going to have to try and come back into this with only 14 players.
Yeah, they're in big trouble here, and they haven't done enough at any stage during the game today to warrant a victory here. They could still steal it at this point, but there hasn't been enough cohesion up top in their forward line. Not enough of their big players have played well enough. Any of the key matchups throughout the game, Breaffy have had them. The two O'Sheas have been exceptional. Tommy O'Reilly's been very good. James Minogue has done very well since he came in. I think this ball needs to go to just one place.
O'Shea's hands is the only place you'd be thinking of putting this one, but in the end, amazingly, he decides to go short. I suppose the extra man, it can be used on that occasion, but even at this late stage in the game, with being 2 points up, sometimes it might be safer to just go along and get it as far away from your own goal as possible, because Breaffy could dice with danger a little bit around here, Cormac. The last place you want it is around your own half of the field. Yeah.
Well, at least if you lose the ball higher up the field.
And look at that. I think there was a foul off the ball, was there? I think the referee has blown the whistle. I'm not sure. Well, he was pointing in the direction of the clubhouse to say it was a free for Westport, but I think there was just a miscommunication or something along those lines. But, you know, with the way this has gone, we're 2.5 minutes into injury time now. For Westport, it seems like the goose is cooked, and I think Cullen Moran has picked up his second yellow card now, and he's seen the line. So Westport are going to finish this game with 13 players, and surely from here, you can't see any way back for them.
No. I like you'd imagine Breaffy can easily find an extra body here, but I think the key thing is that the ball needs to get back into O'Shea's hands quickly.
Yeah, and he plays a nice 1-2 there straight away. He's still full of legs after 62 minutes of play. Aidan O'Shea on this occasion, he was loose on the ball, he overcooked it, and it's going to be a free for Westport now on this occasion. And there's all sorts of pulling and tangling going on the far side of the field, but this is all playing into Breaffy's hands, just giving them an opportunity to get back and get a bit of a defensive structure. What I will say is it's certainly time from a Breaffy perspective to get back in and sitting on front of Conor McGrainer, because let's face it, if Westport are going to get a goal from this last couple of minutes, it's going to be coming from some sort of high ball that goes in near him. I said we're 33 minutes into the second half now, 3 minutes of overtime, a yellow card there for a Breaffy player, and now Westport are coming on the attack in the middle of the field. It's pretty much last chance saloon, but never forget last year's county semi-final. They needed a goal at the end of the game to beat Castlebar Mitchells, and Shane Scott came up and got it. Pierce Dean is going in really hard, high up the field trying to win a free, but there's a foul there on Ushie McLaughlin, and it's going to be a free for Westport about 50 yards from goal. And I think the Westport bench are just saying to kick it in. Lee Keegan is going to kick it in. It has to go in. I think Westport are just saying to send everybody in now. Lee Keegan is going to wait. He's going to drop this high ball in. It's dropping in. There's loads of bodies in there. Who's going to come up with it? It's bouncing around there. Opportunity there. Paul Lambert has the ball for Westport in the square. Shoots, and it trickles out to the far side, and was a touch on it, so it's going to be a 45 for Westport. And you'd imagine Paddy O'Malley's just going to launch this one in. It's a real scramble in there.
Yeah, it definitely is. Westport are throwing the kitchen sink at it. If Breaffy come out of this with the victory, I think Breaffy will have there'll be one or two questions asked in their own dressing room over the course of the next few days in terms of they've mismanaged a lot of this second half. They have turned over an incredible amount of ball, and to be honest, they have really, in a situation where they have 2 players up, they have really brought Westport onto them. This shouldn't be occurring, really.
No, certainly not. Paul Lambert going to drop it in high around the house. There's loads of bodies in there. A Breaffy fist goes up and knocks it out to the side, and Breaffy can come away with the ball now once more, and it's all over. The full-time whistle sounds, and the county champions are out. Breaffy have pulled off the coup here in Island 80. They've done it, and they didn't score for the last 25 minutes of the game almost, but they've done enough to see off Westport. And on a day like this, it's a huge win for Breaffy from a psychological point of view. Going forward, they set up wonderfully well, and a massive result for them. Westport are out, and well, the county championship has been blown wide open.
It has, absolutely, and it's a great thing, and it's a great representation of the Mayo Club Championship. There's been no monopolies in Mayo Club football. There's been 1-3 in a row done in a 40-year period. You know, Westport, there was a lot of talk that they could be in for a period of dominance. They've won their county title, and now this year they're knocked out at the quarter-final stage. You know, Knockmore were going for 3 in a row. Last year it didn't materialise. Castlebar coming with a young team. In an overall context, Castlebar deserved... Breaffy deserved the victory here today. They played the best football. They had the best performers. They were really, really well set up. were incredibly committed. They dived on everything. You could see Pierce Dean out here at the end, just got a hand on a ball, slowed it up sufficiently well enough, got another hit in and slowed the ball continuously. They made it a battle, they played it on their terms, and they had some exceptional performances. You know, I have to say Tommy O'Reilly put in some shift. Robbie Fadden did very well. David Neary mixed the good with the bad. The Breaffy defence was very good. Conor Byrne was excellent, did a very, very good job on Colin Moran throughout. I thought the two midfielders were very good. Aidan O'Shea was very, very good as well. I have to say, in an overall context, I thought Conor O'Shea was absolutely superb out here today. I think he was, by a distance, the man of the match. I thought he was superb.
In fairness, he's a player that is he's come under criticism before at times, and look, I suppose if people are trying to compare him to Aidan, he's a totally different player to Aidan. He's wonderfully athletic in what he does, but even today he just controlled things around the middle. He drove forward at times, and he done so well. There was a spell. One of the last points that Breaffy got, it was a turnover between him and Matty Ruan in the Westport 45-metre line. They turned it over, and Conor found himself up at the other end of the field, winning a free, and then knocking it over the bar himself. Selfless kind of play at times, and he links well, and Breaffy have a nice little dynamic there. And I recall last year they lost a quarter final to Ballintubber, and it was a game that they could have won. Ballintubber went down to 14 men. Jason Gibbons was sent off, and I think this is a big win, probably one of the biggest wins this Breaffy team has ever put together. Yeah,
and it's probably one of the wins that has been represented with a lot of teamwork. Like they have less star names than they've had previously. Obviously, Robbie Henley is no longer with them. Seamie O'Shea is no longer playing football. And like today, some of the lesser lights really, really put their shoulders to the wheel. It was a really, really good team display, really disciplined display. They retained their structure all through, real teamwork throughout, and then their bigger players stepped into the zone and really took the game over. It's a huge win for them. I think if I'm right in saying, it creates a situation where Knockmore will be playing Breaffy in a quarter final, and Ballina will be playing Castlebar. Am I right in saying that?
We'll have to check out the facts, but I know it's a situation rather where the teams that met in the group stages can't meet each other once more. I think Breaffy can meet either Knockmore or Castlebar, and I think it's the same situation for Ballina. They can meet either Knockmore or Castlebar. One thing's for certain, Breaffy can't play Ballina, and Castlebar Mitchells can't play Knockmore, so for Breaffy it'll be one of Castlebar Mitchells or Knockmore, and said it's a fascinating one. But after today's performance, a massive result for Breaffy, huge stuff, and it's a win, as you said, that's rubber stamps their credentials. But in fairness to them, you got to give them big credit, because they came in here as rank outsiders. Westport were 1-4 on favourites. Quarter-finals weekend in Mayo, it always throws up that one result, and we hadn't seen it so far this weekend. Some said it might have happened in Crossmagna, but Breaffy done it today. It went against the grain, shall we say, but they really put the shoulder to the wheel, particularly when Michael Hall went off injured, because Hall was having a good start to the game. He's another one of these senior players. You're losing your centre half back, that pivot, that one sitting into that position. When he went off, James Minogue came on, and he added so much to their play, and he was exceptional. Even Oisín Tunney, who looked like he might have had to go off injured at times, he came on and he done brilliantly as well.
Absolutely.
He started rather and done brilliantly.
Yeah. Look, Breaffy, as I said, they got everything. Their management will have to take a lot of kudos tonight. Like a lot of what they deciphered to do coming into the game in terms of their preparation worked out, and their work rate was very, very high. They'll be a handful for anyone. But I said it just before the match. A lot of people are talking Ballina up as a common team, or a team that has potential to win a county championship. Like Ballina 4 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago got a late point to beat them by a point in the first round of the championship. So that would have said to me that there's a lot of things right with Breaffy, and I have to say their work rate was huge. They were very, very good defensively, and of course they have that sprinkling of 3 or 4 really, really good players. Like you've 2 All-Stars on that team, you have to remember. Like Aidan O'Shea has won 3 All-Star awards, and he's actually only one of 2 footballers, along with Eugene McKenna, to have won an All-Star at full forward, centre forward, and at midfield. So they're the pivotal positions in a forward line and in the central channel of the field. So when you have a player like that, you always have a chance. And I know from coming up against him at club level, I personally used to hate to see him at full forward, because you know, he might have less touches, but the touches he have could be extremely, extremely telling. And the touches he did have today were extremely telling. And I have to say his brother was superb into the bargain as well, and a fully deserved victory.
Yeah, well, there you have it. I said Breaffy have, well, they've upset the odds in some regards, but they've done the business here against Westport. They are into the last four of the Mayo Senior Club Championship semi-finals, rather, at the Club Championship semi-finals. And the draw for that will take place at 6 o'clock this evening. That wraps up another wonderful weekend of action. 5 live games on Mayo GA TV and 4 of them on Midwest Radio. It's been a wonderful weekend, all in all. But that is where we're going to make our leave. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for semi-finals. No doubt there'll be more drama, more fun. But for now, Breaffy see themselves into the last four. They've beaten the reigning county champions Westport on a scoreline of 1 goal and 8 points to 9 points. Be interesting to see Paul Lambert with a nice little hand pass over the top. Westport are in around and the hand pass is in. It's the cornerback, it's the captain, it's Niall McManaman with the first score.
The disparity in size, you know, he pushed him out of the way quite easily and came then kind of panicked really. An awful lot of it is going to come down
towards Pat Lambert once more. He's trying to find help. He's back to Owen McLaughlin. McLaughlin off his left foot. That's a great shot from Owen McLaughlin. He caught it nice.
And they drove him sufficiently sideways for him to recycle the ball.
Yeah, Tommy O'Reilly on the attack now plays a nice one too. That's gone in and over the bar. Really good score. Yeah, Killian Kilkelly. He's missed a couple of games through injury, but he's taken this one off the carpet, off his right boot, and he absolutely loves it. A good score from that. Goes back on this occasion, back as far as Pat Lambert. He's been one of the stars of the club championship for Westport so far, and that is why. What a great score.
From him sideways, getting hits in, turning them backwards.
Yeah, penalty comes in, it shoots and it scores. Robbie Fadden finds the top corner and Breaffy then the under. Set an absolutely wonderful dummy. Still Aidan O'Shea, he's driving through the Westport defence. Aidan O'Shea fists it over the bar. What a score. He is taking it on. Beats one player opposite for a shot. Lee off the right hand side on off his right boot. The crowd like it on the far side, and Lee Keegan
on one to go straight at his man rather than coming out, because he is elusive and he is quick.
Lee Keegan, that is absolutely sublime off the outside.
That bounce pass in front of him, you know, you're going to have to foul him really.
Yeah, certainly, and Aidan O'Shea strokes that one in and over the bar. Hadn't to consider the half of football that they've had. Here's James Minogue now. Lovely little hand pass there towards, is it going to go over the bar? It's a shot from Oisín Tunney. He's back in action, so he
was a little bit more pace in what they were doing. Got the ball inside to Cullimore, fed the runner. Paul Lambert was up high, went at his man. Westport have to play with Matthew Ruan, and they were able to bring the game 30 metres, 40 metres up the field. That's a big score.
Yeah, after winning his free, he slots it over the bar himself, a first of the day. And Westport now under pressure. O'Malley's kick out has gone astray. There's a chance now for David Neary. Will he go for goal? Neary's in, he shoots high and it goes over the bar.
Robbie Henley over the years, he was generally very good with these. Well, a super kick.
Yeah, well, I tell you something, Jack Livingston is living up to his name. What?
This is where a free taker earns his corner now. Pressure kicks.
Yeah, slight breeze at his back, and it's a really good score. Nice strike from Kilkelly.
He's able to break tackles, he's able to take tackles in his own terms, he's able to suck people to him, and he'd be able to get runners off him and send Ruan.
Last 25 minutes of the game almost, but they've done enough to see off Westport, and on a day like this it's a huge win for Breaffy from a psychological point of view. Going forward, they set up wonderfully well, and a massive result for them. Westport are out, and well, the county championship has been blown wide open.
It has, absolutely.